rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can feel the rain on your skin. Look what I found. Oh la la. Sebastian Gower has found it. But, catch 22, this is not charged. So, it's not ready for us to use it. But we now have it. Oop, it's dropped, but we have it. That is very exciting for me. I've been looking for that everywhere. Do you know where it was? It was literally in the bee. Excuse me. It was literally in the just came out of the shower, so I'm trying to get a little bit of control here. There we go. It was literally in the other car, in the glove box. Go figure. Go figure. Now, fresh canvas. This is going to be a bit of fun, team. This is what we're painting. I've put it in a frame because I do not want to damage it. This is, ooh la la, Antarctic penguins. That's what we're working to. So this is a photo long ago. My father took this photo. And today, we're going to have our first attempt at capturing it. So one wild card is we'll trim off a little bit on each side, so our canvas is a little bit more square. But hopefully by the end of it, we'll have a whole bunch of little dots here and penguins hanging out in Antarctica. That's the plan. The one catch though is to connect it. I have a stand, this frame, and 2 bull clips. So, how do we make this work? You'd say, well, just have more gear. Yep, that's fair, but this is all we brought today. Now, if that goes on there like that, then I can put that onto there, and that would stay, and then I could lift it up. Wow, look at us go, team. How is that? Overhead gently. Voila. Perfect. Next thing. Plates. That's important. And the last thing I need. Do you reckon it's going to get windy, team? Do you reckon that's a thing? Should I be concerned about wind right now? I mean, maybe. I'm going to get the bungee and the pin out and put them underneath, but if we don't use it, we don't use it. It's totally fine. Mikey, welcome on in. Put the collar up. I'll tell you what, I've never been cool enough to put the collar up on my t-shirts. Now, let's go and pin you guys right about there so you can see the trees and all the things we're dealing with here. And then I'm going to rotate this. Gently move that. How's that? Perfecto. Now you're in the right position. Perfect, team. Let's bring this on over. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Go, cool. That's all done and dusted. All right, now I'm getting excited. We're getting in exactly the position we need to be to get started. Now, there's a couple of ways we can go about this. We either just crack straight into it, or we draw some initial guidelines. I'm undecided at what the best move here is. Look at this. This is the perfect brush, team. That one there. See that? That's an absolute mess. It means you're not going to get caught up on detail and you're going to focus on the big picture. Big picture thinking. That's what we need here right now. All right. I'm excited to capture this picture. Excuse me. Right. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. It's just foggy right now, but if it was raining, and it might, I should mention that. It might start raining here. If it does, that's just life, guys. This is a new spot. It's a reserve. It wants to pour on us, and so be it. Right. Here we go. Off to the most predictable start in human history. Ultramarine blue. Let me flick that back there quickly, guys. What do you reckon? They're flat. I think we're each individuals. And as long as we make sure everyone else is happy, we should be able to do what makes us happy. But first and foremost, make sure you're making everyone else happy. All right, let's go. Ready? Big dark shapes first. Why would you wear white? It's actually an illusion, guys. Look here. It's already a mess from a different painting set. So from a distance here, it looks impressive, but I've already made a mess of it. It does help me know where paint has got, and I do try and keep it clean if I can. Just because if you dress smart, you'll paint smart. Sometimes you'll make mistakes, but you will improve. Okay, let's go. Ready? We're off to a rip-roaring start. No, let's go. All right. So, initially, we're not too worried about making sure we're very specific with the facts of what we're seeing in this picture. Nah, we're getting a feel for it. A feel for what's actually in the picture. A feel for the areas we care about. A feel for the tone, the depths, the hues and shapes. Kind of like a dance. You don't just start off with full noise. Sometimes you do, but it's good to ease into it. And so to fully form a relationship, because that's what we want. We want a relationship with this picture. To form that relationship of meaning with it, we need just to be a little bit wild with it. Think of this early layer like your early 20s. A little bit wild, a little bit stupid, and it doesn't make any sense. But it's an important part to be able to move into the next layers clearly, sensibly, understandably. Just like a life, the whole thing looks pretty good when it goes to the appropriate stages. But don't look at an early mess that a picture can be and think to yourself, I want to see something perfect off the bat. That is an incorrect thought, guys. Think about a skyscraper. At one point, it's just concrete foundations on the ground and a blueprint. Maybe not even a blueprint, maybe just concrete foundations. It's up to you to see through that and enjoy what it is, see what it can become, and not judge it because it's not there yet. That's art. It's a process. But also, this could always look terrible. This might never become something beautiful. Maybe just the process will be. But maybe we can make something special here. But the only way we'll get there, is if we're truly able to loosen up, get loose, and throw some paint around. That is a fact. Some lovely people walking around. All right. Next color. Big chunk of a certain type of red violet. Now, early layers, I'm chucking fast, dry, medium, a binder into it, because I want it to dry fast for me. Here we go. Straight on top of that blue, gives me a slightly deeper and fun purple. Not that it matters, because in the early stages, like I say, we're just being wild. We're allowed to be. Allowed to be a little bit crazy. Oh dearie me. If you haven't heard as well, my coffee machine broke on me. Tragic, right? My coffee machine broke, and it was an espresso coffee machine. It's not the end of the world, but it was a tragedy. I'm now using... Oh, thank you very much. Who's that? Emma. You're a legend, Emma. I appreciate that. Yeah, it did. And I'm now using percolator coffee. So, it's a new experience for me, but I am enjoying the American style only because it keeps it hot. So if I have my first coffee, the second one's sitting there hot for as soon as I need it. But with espresso, I would have to go back and make another one. Hey Christian, how you doing? Yeah, so as a new dad, having it constantly waiting there, kind of fun, right? Kind of fun. Right. And the key here, we're just gonna have fun, guys. Splash around some paint. Hey guys!
Hi.
Alrighty tighty. You love coffee? Everyone loves coffee. The fun thing about coffee though, is everyone likes it so wildly differently. You've got people who like lattes, people who like cappuccinos, people who like affogatos, long blacks, short blacks, flat whites, long whites, filter coffee, everything. And everyone has their own preferences and likes and desires, but we all simply like coffee. So I'm a short black guy myself, and I've had to change that to a filtered long black. So if I get my espresso just the way I like it, we're talking short black, baby. Give it to me short and black. Strongest possible flavour, strongest possible coffee. All action, no nonsense. That's how I like it. Faro, not yet, but there is a lot of fog hanging around. We'll see. It might turn into rain, and if it does, it was definitely an advantage that we used the fast dryer in the paint. Otherwise, it would have been a mess. It's got that brisk feeling to it too, guys. I really like it. The weather, I mean. Painting too, but the weather. Like, breathe out here. I love that first breath of air you take on a really cold day when there's snow around or a little bit of hail on the ground. You know when you can smell the cold? I know that sounds weird, but I believe you can. Hey Jay Smith, how we doing? Who else do we have here? Jules, lovely to see you, Jules. And Birdie. Birdie, I thought you already followed. Or is this a new Birdie? If you're a new Birdie, hello, I'm so sorry. If you're the old Birdie, that sounds good. The old Birdie's cool Birdie. She's also an artist and pops in from time to time. If you do ever want to join these live streams, guys, and paint along with me, I'd absolutely love to have you. You're more than welcome. You can see the times for the events on TikTok, on the profile page, and just make sure you're ready to paint at the same time. I don't put on music when I paint, so you can have your own music playing, which is fun because every artist seems to like vastly different music. I like romantic country and Disney, so obviously that's an acquired taste. That's not for everyone, but each their own, right? Coming on in, morning mate from London, Australia, love your work. Thanks, Vincent. You've got the name of one of the most famous painters in the entire world, and it's a pleasure to have you here. And hey LJ, welcome on in. Welcome on in. Chuck it down there. There we go. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. What a banger of a song. Who was, if we had someone, who was today's Alanis Morissette? Because the closest thing I can find to today's Alanis Morissette is Glee soundtrack. Glee soundtrack goes surprisingly hard. I like it a lot. No one else can feel it for you. Get a little bit brighter here. I think that's enough of that one. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can feel it rain on your skin. Where did I hide it? Yeah. We're gonna have to mix it ourselves, guys. Bit of titanium white, for starters. Some may say it's white enough, but maybe just a little bit more. They say that in Spanish, un bonito. Is bonito small? Bonito's small, right? Or am I making things up? You know what? What do you reckon, team? I reckon we're finished. Almost there, I'd say. It's funny actually, because that sounds so ridiculous when you say that, but that has happened before. That has happened, where I've been like, and that's good enough. And there's a picture of that on the front of my website. It was a picture I spent about an hour on. An hour, and then it was done. And I didn't have anything else to add to it, but a lot of the time we can go for 10, 20, some portraits up to 40 hours. And yet sometimes you do them straight away and ping, you're like, don't touch it. It's perfect just the way it is. This is not there yet. This is, it's fun. You can kind of see this penguin colony coming in here. You can kind of see the idea of the landscape, but we're just getting started. There's more to do here, baby. Much more to do. Janice, I'm doing good. Good to have you in here. And thanks, Sammy. Appreciate you being here as well. Appreciate you being here. Today, guys, if you missed it at the start, we're painting Antarctica. So, a long time ago, my father went down to Antarctica on a few different journeys. And on those journeys, he was a helicopter pilot. On those journeys, he took photos of the landscape. And I was going through the photo albums, and I thought, these are absolutely perfect. This is what I want to paint. And then I hear, this is a dream now, guys. We're getting into the fantasies and dreams section now. And then I hear they send an artist every now and again down to Antarctica to capture it. So immediately that became a fantasy of mine. And I thought, well, if I want to be that artist, what do I have to do? Well, for starters, I'm going to need to prove that I can paint Antarctica. So I grabbed this photo album that I was going to be painting anyway, and we're going to do a few pictures of scenes in Antarctica, starting with these penguins. That's the plan. That's the plan. And hopefully, if I can paint Antarctica well enough and capture something special, that trust might think, actually, let's send that weird, crazy artist down to Antarctica to paint it in person. Similar to how we did the Doubtful Sounds. I would absolutely love that. And if that doesn't happen, that's okay. It's a dream. It's going to be fun to try and pursue it. That's the thing. That's the thing. I just feel like dreams are something that you're supposed to... Dreams are supposed to be hard, but you should enjoy pursuing them. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. Oh, Ethan. when it comes to art, it's really important that you put gas behind it, you put energy, you put care behind it. If I sat here like this, Ethan, what am I going to transpose onto the artwork? I'm going to transpose, that means to get from me and put it in there, something lethargic, something possibly sad, and definitely numb. You want to buy artwork that's lethargic, sad, and numb? Is that what you're into? That's cool if you are. I support that. But for me, if I'm buying artwork, I want something that's vitalizing, joyful, and happy. I want something where I can look at it and go, yeah, the artist had fun making that. And that's why, when I stand in front of the artwork, I get a bounce in my step. I mix colours, I make a mess, I smile, I sing a little bit, I have a good time. Because if I do that, the artwork might, if I'm lucky, have a little bit of that in it. So when someone else looks at it, I'm not saying you're going to look at a piece of artwork and sing and dance and laugh and smile, but it might give you like an eighth of a cup of coffee. But an eighth of a cup of coffee, that little zing, that little bit of happiness, imagine that every day for 20 years. Now we're starting to talk about value in artwork. If I transpose even something negative, lethargic and numb, imagine if that had a small impact on you every day for 20 years. Am I sure? This is a great question. Am I sure? No, I'm not sure. It's just how I feel. There's a couple of experiments about how certain works, say Mozart and Monet, a musician and an artist, can make people happier. Yeah, definitely they exist. But more importantly, I'd focus on the psychological phenomenon of mirror neurons, which I know very little about, but apparently there's a neuron inside your brain that fires when the creator makes something and also fires when the viewer sees what's made. The same neuron in the creator's brain and the viewer's brain. And why that's fun is when we can look at artwork that we can, well, I'd say with the brush strokes and impressionist style that we can understand. Why that's fun is when we can look at artwork that we can, well, I'd say with the brush strokes and impressionist style that we can understand. Dun 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 da da dun 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 da da dun da da dun. There we go. Am I back, guys? I think we lost connection there briefly. Oh, you're back. Yeah, sorry guys. Disappeared there for a moment. Grab this here. The more energy you put into a painting, the more personality it'll have. Personality, character, energy, life. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But also, the more fun you'll have. And that's a key component of it, to actually have fun while you make the art. Hey guys, I'm supposed to be here with you for longer, but I've got to not leave here, but I've got someone coming shortly to do an interview with me. So when they come on down to do that interview, I'll jump off briefly, talk with them, and then we can get back to it. Or he may just be cool to keep you guys here while we do it. And you guys can comment and ask questions. We'll see. Jump on there. Heard of Scream before it glitched. Are you talking about the painting Scream? Because if you're talking about the painting Scream, I need you to recheck that painting. I wonder if the Scream painting isn't actually a man with his hands on his face like this. What if it's a dog? Now that caught me off guard when I first heard it, but have a look at that painting again. His hands look more like ears, and his face looks more like that of a dog. you can't see it, blur your eyes a little bit, tilt your head on the side and squint. You might see it. Yeah, well, it's an amazing painting, and it's, Janice, it's motivated or connected with people all around the world, but do you see what I mean though? It's obviously not. I'll say this, it's obviously not. I actually saw it just as a meme that showed up on my Facebook feed. I was scrolling through Lord of the Rings lore. There we go. Coming on in. Is that mountains? It's I'll show you here. If I can lift this off properly. We're painting this team. So it's a flock of penguins in Antarctica. And we're starting off, we've done a few of the black areas just to like sort of fundamentally describe where the things are gonna be. And now we're just dabbling around with those colors on the shore. I say shore. What do you call it in Antarctica? The land. And the land's actually got a lot of texture, a lot of colors and hues in it. So we need to capture that first. That's important. Is that Mount Cook? Da-da-da. I'm confused about the comment section, but as long as you guys are having fun, that's the important thing. Go up here. Back up here. There we go. Wonderful. Fantastic. You can see it already, that's exciting. It's from a distance, we should get that clarity pretty fast. Yeah, definitely. But we definitely need to build that depth into it, because one of the things I love about painting that I think is really, really important to have on the canvas is a multitude of strokes, or enough strokes that you actually keep seeing new ones and forget about the old ones. It means that the artwork can be perpetually novel, and if it can be perpetually novel, it's got value for you long term. Something that's fun to look at, for an instance, is nice, but when we talk about art, we talk about having something in your home for years and decades. If it's going to be in your home for years and decades, those thousands and thousands and thousands of strokes always gives you a new pocket to examine and see. This unpredictability, like an ongoing conversation through time. So that either was explained immaculately or it made zero sense. Which one was it? It was definitely one of the two. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else feel the rain on your skin. Da dun 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 dun. No one else feel the rain on your skin. Might slash a bit of. Well, we've got it here, Pacific Blue. Yes, we are in New Zealand. A couple of questions there. We're in New Zealand. I was born in Te Awamutu, which is a place in the North Island of New Zealand. And go to a bunch of questions. Te Awamutu in 1993. That makes me 31. I'm a father and I paint full time. My favourite colour to see is probably magenta. My favourite colour to paint with is ultramarine blue. My favourite colour to wear is like a light pale blue. And my favourite colour dress to see someone in is red. And the reason it's red, crimson red, is from that song, Lady in Red. Beautiful song. Lady in red. Is dancing with me. Is that Eric Clapton? Who sings Lady in Red to you? Hello guys, how you doing?
I like your painting.
Oh, thank you very much. We're on the right track. When a kid gives you a compliment, you're on the right track. When a kid says it looks weird, I don't like it, bad sign. When a kid looks at it and says, I like it, it's fun, great sign. Great sign, because kids are so raw and honest, and they're just looking for a good time. So when they see a fun painting, that's exactly where we want to be. Have I ever dropped a painting? Yeah. Yeah, there's actually this down here. This holds it down to the ground. There's no wind out at the moment, but if there was, we'd use that to actually bungee cord the canvas down. And when I was learning how to use that,
What are you painting?
I'm painting penguins!
What? What?
You'll see them eventually, I promise, I promise.
Okay.
Guys, just lost that trail of thought there. Oh, we'll circle back to it. Guys, I'm going to quickly talk with this gentleman about the interview, but we'll pop back in about shortly. Pop back shortly. Oh, 5 minutes? Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes. Can someone remind me what the point was we were yarning about? Something. What were we talking about? Jeepers. My memory's hazy these days, guys, but it's good. It's good because the sun is coming out and we can just hang out here. Oh, you feel that? The light is now hitting. I had a feeling, especially when I checked the weather report, that it was going to rain. Here we are, rain-free. Unbelievable, guys. If you'd seen the weather report here in New Zealand, you wouldn't have believed it. Not in the absolute slightest would you have believed it. But here we are. No one else can feel it for you. But one day, that day is not today, but one day, I'll come up with a system for my paints that's not leaving them sprawled around on the ground. The bungee. So the bungee is something that goes into the ground, and when I was figuring out how to use it, I put it too close to the front one time, and an original painting got caught, and the wind blew it, and for anyone who knows physics, it blew it past the point of no return, and then the bungee acted against its favour and ripped it into the ground, and I saw it happen. I didn't get there fast enough before it went splash as hard as it could have. It was, I don't want to say beyond saving, but I think it was. It was a mess. And then before the bungee, paintings would get caught and blow off into the distance too. So, this is all just realities. If you're going to paint outside, you take on the risks. No one else can feel it for you. Yeah, but you know what? Part of honest process. Sometimes, if you go outside, you're going to get rained on, hailed on even sometimes. Strong winds. It's all going to happen. The worst thing that can possibly happen though is I forget my water bottle. Without water, it's so obvious, without water you get dehydrated. And when you're dehydrated, it is hard to paint. It's hard to paint when you're thirsty. And sometimes, for a special treat, it's a soda stream bottle, I'll actually bubble this up. And then I've just got some nice soda. I used to hate soda, raw soda, without any flavour in it. Now, maybe I'm getting old, team. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I love it. I love it. Get on with it, mate. That is entirely fair, Woo. Why am I taking so long? Get on with the painting. Yeah. I regret to inform that although we will continue, the pace may not quicken. I can only do my best. Cheers, Woo. That's awesome. Get on with it, mate. Good on you, mate. Woo's like, it's alright. I just need to know that you're doing your best. That's the most important thing. There we go. Lash that around there. Will that paint wash out of the shirt, Elijah? No, it won't, unfortunately. You can try, but after it's had more than a day to set, it's kind of game over. It's set into the shirt, so this is now a painting shirt. But what I like to do is buy the clothing from op shops. So what I'll do is, see, you don't know what an op shop is, it's a second-hand shop. So I'll go in there, find clothes that are my size, buy them, and that way I can dress smart and paint smart. But op shops are key. That's where this shirt's from, that's where these shoes are from. And not the pants though, not the pants. But usually, the whole ensemble. We might rotate around a little bit. We go to here. There we go. Lovely. That's good. That's where I want you. Oh, it's only you can let it in. No one else can feel the rain with your skin. You've got massive amounts of white here. Alba, you're an absolute legend. I appreciate it, man. There we go. Slashes around here. Only you can let it in. No one can feel the rain with your skin. One day, come down on a rainy day and manage to not sing Alanis Morissette. Today's not that day, but one day. Now, it may look a little bit like white on white right now, and it is, but the underlying layer at the moment is just a primer layer, so it's just acrylic polymer with chalk in it. So for the long term, we want to get this white paint, white pigment, titanium white, onto the surface without that chalkiness to it, to make sure that the colour has that pop, especially once the varnish layer goes onto it. But there's always going to be a lot of white. It's a painting of Antarctica. That's kind of come to the territory. I think my favourite rendition of Antarctica was when the 3 penguins from Madagascar got back there, and are standing there and it's a terrible blizzard going on and they're all just standing there looking. Great scene. I regret to say that I never ever when I watched the penguin movie, I've just seen Madagascar 1 and 2, which is a bit of a shame. Right. You have to go. You're alright, Janice. Thanks for popping on in. I like your tattoo. It is a lovely, lovely tattoo. And wish you all the best. Who's that? Meh. That's really pretty. Thanks, Meh. But it's early days. We might change it, we might ruin it. But it's really important at the start we keep the strokes inherently wild. Start with chaos and then build into clarity. You see the opposite sometimes in art. You'll see someone do a beautiful realism picture and then splash some paint over the surface as if to say, look at this clarity, and now I'm introducing chaos. You know, I like doing it the opposite. Give me chaos and then let's slowly extrapolate clarity. And hopefully by the end of it, we get this dance halfway between the two. Between clarity and chaos. We can see a picture in there, but we can also enjoy wild, chaotic paint. That's what we want to do. That's what we want. If we can get that, that's a success. And this one here, usually landscapes, I push it way too far, guys. With landscapes, for me, the boats go out really far into that more impressionistic, abstract realm. And then when I'm doing portraits, they tend to lean more into more clarity and definition. So, yeah. Also, just let me know when you're ready to start and I'll go for gold. Otherwise, I'll just keep painting.
I'm just going to stick a mic on you, that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Happy days. I would have my own mic on, but it's run out of batteries.
Oh.
I either
What
forget...
batteries did you take?
Oh, no,
Double A's,
that,
or
it's
you?
a little
It's the
DJI,
yeah.
little wireless one, so it's always out of sync.
Otherwise, I'd give you batteries. But
Yeah.
I'm Nick, by the way. Sorry.
What's your name? Sorry.
Nick.
Nick. Good to meet you, Nick.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
Just got the info here. Tap there. Clip that on there.
You know what you're doing. I don't need to.
Put that on around the back there. Then we'll tuck back in. Cheers, guys. Right. How's that? Is that subtle too? I think that's subtle. We've nailed it.
And I can see you and hear you.
Oh, that's another thing that I was getting told about by someone else, that we have, guys, this little set here. I found it. Well, Shelby found it. It was in the glove box. And we have this little set here, but I either forget one of two things. I either forget to bring them or I forget to charge them. So, but besides that, apparently if I get a cord that connects 1 to 2, it won't have out of sync audio, but that's for a future day. There we go. Alright. Let's get a bit of... This is just pouring medium, team. It's acrylic pouring medium, and all it does is make the paint thick and sloppy. So it's fun to chuck on the early layers because it doesn't keep that texture to it. It goes more flat. So later on in the piece, you can keep adding in more texture. But like I'm saying, we don't need anything from this picture right now. Just a bit of abstract, wild, stupid fun. This is the chaos stage, and then after about 1 or 2 layers, we'll start thinking more about, where's that clarity going to get built into it from? Where is that going to come from? And I think, because of the amount of white, if I can avoid it, I'm looking at this picture, if I can avoid it, I'd love to not use any carbon black if I can help it. Maybe, I see maybe 1 or 2, maybe 6 or 7 penguins that I can put a stroke of carbon black into, but on the whole, I really want to keep it, those deeper colours inside the violets and the ultramarine blues, if I can help it. If I can help it. There we go. Alright, tighty. And it's funny actually, at the start, because it's inherently chaotic, our main goal right now, paint on canvas. And then, once we get a thick base of pigments and acrylic polymer, then we can start building and thinking, right, where's the character? Where's the elements that we want to show in the work? Where's the pieces which are actually vital in actually demonstrating what this picture wants to show? Right now, all it needs to show is that it looks like the artist had a pretty good time making it. Yeah. Right, next colour up. What's it going to be? Go for... I think we're going to leap on a brown, guys. Unless a subscriber's got a suggestion via an emoji, I think I'm going to go for brown. before I do, good to get it out of the system. Here we go. Well, brown. I say brown. A motley green. Let's do motley green. See where that takes us. Right. Back on the fast dry gels. And the reason I want that is I do not want that browny greenish motley colour to actually end up blurring into the other colours. Just want it sort of spattering over the picture, drying immediately and not affecting our saturated blues, reds and yellows. That's our plan. Anyway, let's have some fun with this. Play around. Yep. This is a fun colour. Not really brown, not really green. Kind of like a dirty green cousin of Naples yellow. The only thing I don't want to do, the only rule in these early layers, do not land paint too textured or thick. If it goes on too textured or thick, it means I've committed to where that stroke is, and it will influence everything else that happens. I really want to make sure it's flat enough that when I want to start bringing in detail, character and clarity, I haven't limited myself through texture. And if I have, we just chuck a bunch of, sometimes I used to use resins, but sometimes something like a bunch of pouring medium over the top, just to try and flatten it out. That's all part of the fun. Thanks, Meh, you're a champion. I don't know who that is, SJ. And good morning, Emma. Welcome on in. It's actually, Emma, it's actually just crossing to afternoon. We've just gone into the, I think we're on, help me out here, team. Are we on either, what is it? Jay, it's on you. I think we're doing 12:20. Or is it 11:20? And Alba, it's good having you here, Alba. Thanks for being a chick. Thanks for supporting. I appreciate you. That's part of the fun live team. That we can be here painting, and people from anywhere in the world through a little box and a camera can just jump in and connect. That's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. All right. Yeah. Olive green and white. Exactly what we need. Dirty Capilline. There we go. Perfecto. Alright. Is this deep and dark enough? Yes, it is. It's dark, but it's not black, guys. This is royal purple. But I need to splice it. Because the one thing I never want from royal purple is for it to dry tacky. That is a disaster. There we go. A little bit of gloss medium. Keep the shine in the royale. There we go. Mix that up there. And that royal purple, for as cute as it was, is now smashed through motley green. So it's going to give us a combination, which I kind of like.
You got me in.
We'll call the, what's that?
Come in as well?
Yeah, do your thing. Do your thing. I'd call it cheeky grey. Where next? There we go. Lovely. most important thing when you're landing crazy wild strokes is look at your picture, look at your reference shot of your landscape or wherever you're standing, and focus most of all on a shape, a moment, a cue, a stroke, and then transpose that. Just get that one little piece and add to the surface of what you're doing. And if you do that over and over again, ignoring what you've currently made and just focusing on the next little shape or moment, one at a time, always actually adhering to what's actually there, not what you've already created. And then hundreds, thousands, sometimes 6 or 7 strokes, but hundreds or thousands of strokes later, it's not hundreds of thousands, hundreds or thousands, a picture will just come to emerge. It can't help it. A million strokes with a million good intentions, something has to show up. That's the idea. That's the theory. It's like the complete opposite of paint by numbers. It's so what if, instead of rules, we had absolutely 0 rules, but we hoped for a result? That would be the art form. But you gotta be really careful too that you don't end up, when you're making art, falling into a routine. A routine and a rut aren't too different. The lure of doing what you already know is so tempting, but you keep doing it the same way. That's where the art actually intersects with craft. And once it's craft, I mean, craft is just art done repetitively. So we get ourselves caught by that. Pack. What do I use? A little bit of baby no, probably my daughter just dribbling is the answer there. And I've got a couple of powders and little things like that. But honestly, it's a little bit wild. And the truth is, Pack, that in the next 10 years, I wouldn't even have to worry about hair products because I've gone bald. It runs in my family. It's already on the recede. So it's the reality of life for me. I point it out now, so in 7 years, when I'm actually really starting to recede, people aren't like, oh, look at his hairline. They're like, he's been talking about that for years. Literally years. Here we go. Alright, more up in this part here. Get all those little white patches completely covered. There we go. Lovely. Now, that same colour, let's throw a bunch of white in there and see what we go to. Oh, cheers, Pack. It's that kind of constructive feedback and support that a guy like me needs. Okay, and alright, you absolute legends. We've hit 18,000 likes, which means someone's lifted their thumb up, put it back down, and lifted it up again, put it back down 18,000 times. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is a beautiful day here actually. I'll show you, if you hear that sloshing noise, it's actually coming from just behind me, around there. That's the beach, looking absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to go closer to it, but I thought, I kind of like the trees and the fog around here. It's kind of cute and nice. But usually being down there right by the shore, that's bread and butter. Especially with the tide, when you don't know what it's doing, that little bit of danger, that's always a bit of fun. But no, today, this little patch here is just perfect. Just perfect. We also don't have a name for this piece yet, but we will get one. I think we'll call it penguins. but you'll need to see some penguins first. It'll take time. That'll take time. But now, for now, we'll just have fun adding paint. Big, thick blobs of white. More and more. There we go. Oh, that's probably a little bit too thick. That's going against that rule we talked about of not putting on too much paint at the start. Gonna help myself, so I'll spread that out a wee bit. There we go. And then down in here. Ah, nice. Both sides. Down through there. More white, I'd say. More white, more white, more white. With the same grey colour. We'll splice it with just a little bit of red. And try to keep enough paint off the t-shirt that I uphold the illusion. The illusion that I actually never get paint on myself. Looks like fire smoke. Let me stand back and have a... Yeah, I see that. I see that. I'll give you one more glimpse up close, T, so you can see what we're working with here. It's the only photo of it that I've got, and so I put it in a frame to protect it. But this is a picture here. My father took this picture in Antarctica about 20 years ago, and I like it. It's got a couple of little levels that it works on, but I like the story that sits behind it. My father took it when he visited this penguin colony. He was a scientist, he was flying helicopters. And I like the composition. I like the little cheeky shapes of these penguins. I like the way they all kind of have their own unique little element of personality. And we're going to see if we can bring it to life on this canvas, but we don't know yet. I kind of think of art like a little bit like rolling dice. We're hoping, we are hoping that we'll keep rolling sixes and land every perfect stroke, but it's also likely that the whole thing will just crumble and fall to pieces in front of us. If we don't leave ourselves open to both, we'll never let the artwork truly breathe. So that's a big part of it. All right. I'm going to jump off this brush soon too, because it's getting a little bit dark. We want to make sure this work doesn't actually get too dark. We want that bright, vibrant element of Antarctica. So after this, I'm going to start building back. They're building back into the lighter tones, I reckon. Christian, welcome on in. And where am I in New Zealand? This is in Auckland. So this is a reserve in Auckland at the beach. You can hear the water splashing in the background. And I found a little flat patch of grass to start painting Antarctica. I know, there's a lot to unpack there, so. The mist is absolutely gorgeous here. It's actually been raining really heavily for the last few days, and it's raining for the next few. But we found just a little pretty pocket in between to do some painting, which is kind of fun. Mike, welcome on in, you absolute legend. Good to see you too. Well, I can see your profile picture and hear you, see your words. I can't see you, but one day, I think the technology will get good enough that I can. One day. All right. It'd be kind of cool if one day we had like a technology with augmented realities that people who join in and even other artists can all wear goggles and all be in the same space making art in studios all around the world or in nature or wherever. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool, but right now we can just hang out like this. This is pretty fun. Okay. All right. That's enough of that deep, dark, greyish red.
Hey, everyone's different to work.
We're going to go with a white. Slash that on here. Are we going to go with a white next? we are going to go with white. It'll mix with some of the colours on there. Blend together, make it slightly off-white, capture the landscape a little bit, and then dive on blues. We put blues on at the start, but they were very, very light and see-through, so getting back to the blues will be a lot of fun. Good plan. Powerful plan. Alright. Next plate, what have we got? Do we have a plate in the stack? Probably not. What are we doing this one? Voila. Voila. That is a great question. What is it? It's a mess right now. And that's exactly what we want. If it wasn't a mess, we wouldn't want it. And hopefully by the 5th or the 6th layer, we'll start seeing something that's less of a mess. But for now, enjoying chaos, enjoying the wilderness of these strokes, enjoying the mess that we've made, that's the most important part. That initial allowing the artwork to breathe. You start a canvas and off the bat you start strangling it and demanding it to be something. You'll get what you want. I think you'll get what you want, but the issue you run into is sometimes what it could be is so much better than what you had in mind. So that room to let the artwork breathe allows the painting to keep actually surprising you. Because if you're not going to be surprised by what you make, you can't grow as an artist and move along on a journey. That's what I think. Trust the process. Yes, Caitlin, 100% that. That is exactly what I'm talking about. You can always look back on artwork in hindsight and figure out what you liked and what you didn't like, but at the moment you're making it, you just need to lose yourself in the process. Feel that cheesy word for it, that flow state. If you feel that flow state, then at least, even if the artwork crumbles, you're having fun. You're having fun. There we go. Still, even in the wild colours we're using, do not let that texture get too thick. You don't want to be limiting our options just yet. We will soon, but not just yet. There we go. It's a beautiful colour. It's like a pale salmon. There you go, mate. Where am I going next? I'll dive up on, I'll move through this area here. So I'll start here and move across. Do your thing. Ready? Let's go. Here we are. It's just like when Shelby, my partner, comes to film. She's like, look, I can't stay on the brush when you're moving around so much. Where are you going next? And I'm like, well, Shelby, not even I really know that. So, I'm sure they're just shooting from the hip and hoping something lands. I mean, sometimes. I think the technique here is going to be just over and over again with slightly more and more transparency. We'll just keep layering up different tones of white over and over and over, and maybe sort of 10 to 20 tones of white in there with those pale blues, pinks, and Naples yellows, etc. We might start to give this sort of landscape justice and see that sort of depth that Antarctica has. I don't want to just have white, I want to have depth in that landscape. Cool. And oh, hey, welcome on in, little bear. Good to have you on the team. I hope you like the emojis. I stayed up all night one night editing those, and I was very, very pleased with myself. Shelby walked in with a coffee and she says, "What are you so proud of yourself for?" And I was grinning away at all those avatars I made that represented different colours. And actually it taught me that I'm not using enough apricot paint. So one of the avatars and colours was apricot. This is kind of like an off-white apricot. Not that apricot's such a great colour, it's just a fun word to say. Say that I'm using apricot paint. But then is that... Hey, thanks mate! How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Oh, it's amazing.
Well, thank you. It's early in the piece, but after about another 5 or 6 layers, we might get some penguins in Antarctica. If we're lucky. Otherwise it'll stay a mess, and that's okay too. Cheers guys.
Are we able to come a little bit closer?
Yeah, of course you can. I've got the picture here. Come have a look if you like.
Wow.
So, hey Jennifer. Alright, so what we've got here, you're going to come look at this one real close. I'll pull it down for you. Here you go. Sweet. So this is a photo. Everything's done on phones these days, but back in the day, you'd have a camera and you couldn't see the photo you'd taken. You just had to point and shoot. And then you sent it off to a man who would send it back to you 40 days later with your photos. And so if you were traveling somewhere and you got the photo wrong, you were in trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
But a long time ago, my father used to fly helicopters in Antarctica, and he's pulled out some of his old photo albums. And so I've grabbed a few of them, and the scientists down there were doing research on penguin colonies, and how they were going about their business.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just liked the shot, thought it's cool. Just a couple of cheeky looking penguins. Actually get a little bit of their ideas in there, a little bit of fun.
That's
but,
neat.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'll completely fall to bits.
Yeah.
But,
Very cool. Very cool.
but if you jump on Google and just search Seb Art or weird dude who
Seb
paints
Art.
it, yeah,
Sweet, cool.
or weird dude who paints outside, or you
Okay.
can track it down.
Yeah,
Fine.
sweet,
Yeah.
sweet. That's cool. I believe it. Sure, you can go to the photo. I'll over there.
Righty tighty. Hello Apollo, how are we doing? Bright eyes, I don't, but you are welcome to hang out here. When it comes to the craft aspect of art, there's so many amazing YouTube videos. If you want to learn how to make an eyeball, how to make a leg, how to do perfect gradients, YouTube is phenomenal. But if you want to learn how to have a good time and the psychology and philosophy behind how to make art, then you're kind of in the right space right now. You don't need to pay for everything. You can just hang out here. And Jay Smith, I'm so glad you got those avatars. Which one is your favorite? I shotgun magenta. No one's allowed magenta, that's my favorite avatar. Oh dear. I'm thinking too, for the long term, we've got some subscribers who have been around for like a long time, and maybe instead of calling them apricot or tan or magenta or wait, did we? All right, Jay's got titanium. Titanium and magenta are gone. Maybe I actually rename titanium Jay Smith. I'll rename magenta. I'll rename magenta Sebby in a heartbeat. It's my favourite colour. Favourite colour. You've got it, Jay. Titanium belongs to you, alright? You've got titanium. Who else do we have in here? Do we have any other subs who want to lock in which one's theirs? I will not forget. But please know that titanium and magenta are now off limits. They have people who've selected them. But funnily enough, titanium white is going to be the absolute player in this piece. The absolute forerunner of making this painting. Because it's Antarctica. But the trick is going to be actually getting all the titanium white we can and actually going, okay, how do we build personality into the whites? And that's going to be with these transparent layers. That's going to be with all these wild coats, messy elements. But towards the end, we might just be throwing on acrylic polymer with like 2% opacity. Who knows? It won't be very exciting to watch because it'll look exactly the same. But that depth, we'll get that depth into it, and that is so important. Where else do we want to go? How you doing, guys?
Good, bro.
Are we smashing it?
Yeah, man.
Oh, get in there, me.
We're getting old. We're getting too old.
You know, I think I've got a stand just like that one at home.
Yeah.
But I got a camera to go on it as well. But I find that if I don't put the connecting piece on from the right direction, it locks on there and won't come off. But,
Yeah.
I thought when I was starting out that I needed some good camera equipment, but the problem is you need brains to use it, and I didn't have those, so I just used the camera still, regular.
Just wanted to auto adjust.
yeah.
But that's okay, you know.
Yeah, I've been like,
it's
what?
all about doing it, not about.
Well, that's the thing. I was sitting there with the iPhone, being like, "Oh, this always looks nice. I'll get a better camera." I'm like, "Why doesn't it look nice?" Auto adjust.
Yeah.
I was just saved by the bell. Jace, not this one. Not this one. This is this one. Look, I don't want to say never, but this one is not going to sell. Not only before it's finished, but I also might want to keep it for a little bit because my father's very connected to this place and he might get connected to his work. So there's that note to consider, but there's also to consider the fact that the painting's going to change a lot. So just like a high school girlfriend or boyfriend, you thought you were into them when you were in high school, but then once it really grew up, you feel differently about it. Think about a painting. In the early layers, you may hate it, you may be partial, impartial, or you may love it. But it's going to change as these layers continue, and you have to allow it to change. If you love it now, maybe you'll see it in 6 layers time and think, that's not for me. But sometimes, in that same vein, you will look at a painting and think, that's what I want. I want that one. That's all I want, you know, after it's even gone over its journey. Both those answers, super healthy. But regardless, if it reaches completion, there will be prints. So I'm hoping that in the tab of options on the website, that we can actually have, you know, we've got our landscapes and things like this. We can have an Arctic option, which will just have a theme with, you know, even up to 6 works, which have an Antarctica theme. But at the moment, it's just me dreaming right now. So bear with me, because there's so many things happening in Antarctica that maybe the initial. Oh yeah.
I want to squeeze. Okay?
Here we go. Yeah,
hang
ready?
on a second. Hang on. Go for it.
There we go. That's a good squeeze. It's a good squeeze.
Beautiful. You do one more?
We're getting a bit naughty here. Hold on. This is going to be really fun. So that's the, I'm going to put some clear painting medium over the top. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Just like that. Perfect. So what's going to happen there is the paint itself is very buttery. Buttery paint's fantastic, but it doesn't spread nicely. The clear painting medium slows the drying down a little bit. And when you mix it in there, see that? It turns the viscosity to a thinner viscosity, meaning that although the paint has less texture, it allows it to run better. And in the early layers, we don't want texture, because texture can be limiting, but we do want to get spread. We want colours where we want them immediately. Look at that. It's kind of like mixing pancake batter. There we go. Perfect. You guys are missing out a bit over here. Let me bring that in over here. Sorry. See that? You're good. See that? For the early layers, it started off like butter, yeah, kind of like butter, buttery. It's a good way to put it. but now it wants to be like pancake batter. And the closest it can be like to water, the better off you'll be. But if it gets too thin, there's an equilibrium you're working to. It'll start running on the page. And it's really, really important that when the paint goes on the page, the canvas, good. It's really important when the paint goes on the canvas, it keeps that perky element to it. And that, when I say perky element, if it goes on too wet and starts to run, it looks sad until gravity's played with it. But if it goes on there and stays uplifted and loose, it has that vitality that it had when the stroke first hit the surface. So anyway, let's get some more of that. Yeah, this was a good choice. You know, not every white is white. This one here is called parchment. And maybe it was a trick from the art supplier to make me buy 5 different shades of white, but it feels good using parchment. It's like it's got a little bit of red, blue, brown through it. It's a little bit of fun. Who else do we have here right now, team? Cheers, Jay. And Jay's good to have you in here. Print D. What's the longest frustrating break, hold on, you've taken from a painting? This is a great question. And this actually happens. I had a work, and it's up on the website now, called Second Sunrise, and it works on a bunch of levels. I had this work, I've got a whole bunch of boards, which I don't actually, which are like in their stand down zones, not being used right now, waiting to, for me to just feel like I need another layer. But this particular painting was at the back of the worst of the worst. I thought it was done, and the only reason I hadn't thrown it away is because I didn't have a pit deep enough because it was a massive canvas. And then I went through them the other day and flicked through these boards, and I saw it at the back there. And I thought, you're perfect, you're so close to finished. And all of a sudden, it's become one of my favourite works. And so, it fits on 2 levels. Second Sunrise, because it had a second crack at life, and Second Sunrise, because it's actually inspired by Van Gogh's flowers. And Van Gogh's flowers, when he painted those, he used yellows that have, you know, the pigments were unstable, so it's faded and browned over time. So I got those same colours, you know, the Naples yellows and these vibrant yellows, and I made the flowers with them in my style in a way that actually keeps that perky power and saturation in the yellows. So it's the Second Sunrise on Van Gogh's inspiration to capture the yellow of these flowers, and it's the Second Sunrise for this painting because even I had left it for dead. And then it's also sunflowers, so sunrise. It's kind of all nice and fun. Anyway, we're doing Antarctica right now, guys. But yes, sometimes you'll just fall out of love with a piece, and all you need is a bit of time. That is entirely okay. But if you check yourself, let me just check the name on that question again. If you check yourself, Print D, when you're painting, when you start painting, and when you finish painting, are you happy, joyful, vitalized, and feeling good? Does the end of the art session feel like it drained you, wore you out, and exhausted you? Or like a workout, are you feeling like you're full of energy now and you're ready to go? Because if it's the latter, then you're approaching the art with the right energy. And if it's the former, there's probably an unhealthy relationship going on with that particular piece. That's what I find. Yes, it's a good tired. Like when I close my eyes at night, I just see colours going tick, 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 all over a canvas. It's a good kind of, oh my God. It's like that was a great day, oh my God. Not, I'm so tired, please not tomorrow, you know? That's, because you do. When you play computer games for too long, you start just seeing the computer game non-stop. Like in RuneScape, I'd see like little piles of treasure under goblins. But when it comes to art, I just see colour after colour with a brush going splat, splish, moving around, building building nothing in particular, just landing, just playing, just being paint. Here we go. Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to stand back and get your viewing angle. Here we are, let's have a little look-see. That's good. If anything, team, if anything, we've got a little bit too specific. There's a little bit too much clarity in there. As if we're desperate to actually see something at the start. What we need to do is just relax a little bit more and let the picture just loosen up. Sometimes you get, it's kind of like an insecurity. You want to see a picture as fast as possible and you just have to let it just be loose, just be itself, just play. Release that desperation that everything needs to be something. It's a human, thing, but it's an insecurity all artists play with. Oh, how long did this take you? We started at about 11:10, and now what time is it now? It's someone needs to help me out. Probably 30 minutes. We've been here for about 30 minutes. We're missing out though, guys. There are some lovely, cute, gorgeous dogs down at the beach. And had we gone down there, one of them might have dropped the ball at my feet for me to throw. We missed that opportunity by being here, so that's regretful. You took one opportunity, but you missed another. So, anyway. Great backdrop for the light colours. Thanks, JTG, I reckon. The former is definitely not good. Help me out, print. What are we talking about? I jump from one thought and theory to the next like whack-a-mole. You need to bring me back to it, print D. What do we say? And oh, the painting, sad kitten. This painting has taken about 30 minutes, but it's going to need, just because of the sheer layering that's going to need to go into its work, I'm suspecting, I don't think it's going to suddenly appear like sometimes portraits or figures can. I think it's just going to take, 6 to 10 coats of just lots of paint. But we'll be here. We'll stream it live and we'll do it together. And if it doesn't get there, we'll know why. And if it does, that's fun. But as long as we do it together and have a good time, then even if this whole piece falls to bits, the wind catches it and throws it into the ocean, we still had fun. You hear the ocean. Box TV. That's because the ocean's literally right there. That's what I'm talking about. There's a little, look at that dog there. I don't know if you can see it. Cute little puppy. That's what we're missing out on here. That is what we're missing out on. Right, bring you back here. Bang. Okay. We're the same. But, for those who've joined before, the followers who are here most days, just know that we are going to approach this one like all the paintings I do, but this one's slightly differently. We'll do more layers with more transparency, different techniques. As soon as you start using the same technique, because you know it works over and over again, you're a human, but you've turned your art into a factory, and that's dangerous, because although it might be successful, sell, whatever, it'll break you. You inherently as a human need to keep exploring and changing. And although craft is a beautiful thing, as an artist, everything needs to be novel, different, inspiring. Otherwise, that's the question, isn't it? Are you an artist or you're a craftsman? Both is good. It's good to be both sometimes, actually. There needs to be a certain element of craft to even make the art exist in the first instance. But remember that you're selling feelings, and if you feel the same thing over and over and over, it's got to change a little bit. Deepen, widen. become more of this or more of that. That's why they talk about artist journeys. They need to go on a trajectory in some way. Even those who've been here since 2021, you'll remember when we first started painting, we were using much fewer mediums. We were using much smaller brushes, especially at the start. And now that's sort of divulging and changing. I'm more confident to actually sit with a bigger brush for longer. I'm more confident to add more mediums, to have polymers and pumice gels and textures, and then varnish in different ways and complete the work in different ways. And that's that growth, that's that change. It's very healthy. You don't need to do it how I've done it, but in your own way, changing and developing is good. It's a good thing. Sweet Linda, I recognise that name. Good to have you in here again. And LJ, sorry I missed this comment, coming back to it. How many base layers of paint should I use on a cheaper stretched canvas? I remember you saying something about that. Powerful question. Okay, base layers on a cheap canvas. So cheap canvases will say, and they will say they've been gessoed. Sometimes they even say triple gessoed or whatever. Now that gesso that goes on those canvases, if you're buying them from a cheap store, now this does not apply for art stores. If an art store says gessoed, it probably is and done really well. If a budget-friendly store says it's been gessoed, sometimes that means the gesso has been sprayed on. And there's really no substitute for painting thick slopes of gesso onto a canvas. Don't use paint. Paint can be expensive to just put down a priming layer. Get yourself some gesso, but I can't confirm this, but I've been hearing that the cheap gessos from DIY stores have got pretty good these days. But I still buy regular artist gessos because I'm too scared until something's been really proven to be archival. But yeah, gesso's all good. Gesso, a really fun kind. I love me some transparent gesso, and then white gesso's fine. I've never really dabbled properly with black gesso, but it is a thing. Basically, LJ, go to where you buy paint from, buy the gesso, do a coat of gesso on it. If you're feeling excited, chuck a second and a third one on it, but if it says it's already been gessoed, one coat should be totally fine. And the question is too, are we trying to make it survive for, you know, a year or two? In which case, are you trying to get 10 years, 20 years, 100? Like, at the end of the day, a little bit of gesso. The main reason why you do it though, aside from making the painting last, is it makes the colours pop more. Otherwise, the paint can actually lose its saturation by going tacky on the surface. It sort of dries more, no, darker, less saturated, less beautiful. Did I answer the question, LJ, or did I butcher it? Only you can tell me. All right.
We're good when you ask it. We're good when you are, mate. We're good.
Oh, me. All right. Guys, this has been an absolute pleasure. You absolute legends. We've hit 22,000 likes. We're definitely not finished yet. We'll come on back here and hang out some more. I wonder if I can actually do something a little bit naughty here. While I do this interview, guys, I'm champion LJ, thank you. I'm gonna pause the live. So I'm not sure how long I can pause it for, but I'll pause it, I'll do the interview, and then we'll crack on back into it. How do you feel? And see if we can't keep having some fun with this messy landscape. Ooh, we just hit 90 minutes. How perfect. We hit 90 minutes and we got 22,000 likes. Right now, guys, I don't know where you are in the world. If you're using both hands, don't bother. But if you've got your hand free, I'll give you a high five in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Powerful. Look after yourselves, guys. I'm going to, I think it only lets me, okay. It only lets me pause for 3 minutes, guys, so we're not going to make it. I'll come on back. So I'll catch you later, guys. Bye now.